Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com, or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Labor for learning before you grow old. Learning is better than silver and gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay.
Learning before you grow old. Learning is better than silver or gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay. Little boys, little girls, oh yeah, just take my advice and go to school and learn the golden rules. And you will find out what I'm saying to you, that a good education will never decay. Just take my advice and go to school and learn the golden rules. You will find out, oh yeah, what I'm saying to you, that a good education will never decay. Oh yeah, that a good education will never decay. Little children, hear me, that a good education.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
We see then how far the monuments of wit and learning are more durable than the monuments of power or of the hands. For have not the verses of Homer continued 2,500 years or more without the loss of a syllable or letter, during which time infinite palaces, temples, castles, cities have been decayed and demolished?
Labor for learning, before you grow old. Learning is better than silver or gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but our good education will never decay. Little boys, little girls, oh yeah, just take my advice and go to school and learn the golden rules. You will find out what I'm saying to you, that our good education will never decay. Little boys, little girls, just take my advice and go to school and learn the golden rules. You will find out, oh yeah, what I'm saying to you, that our good education will never decay. Oh yeah, that our good education will never decay. Little children, hear me, that our good education.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, and the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. It's the 29th day of the fourth month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Muslims around the world continue to observe the holy month of Ramadan, which runs for 30 days, ending at sundown on Tuesday, the 11th of May, 2021. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. The holy month of Ramadan is a time for fasting, prayer, and community for Muslims across the world. The month of April is being observed as World Autism Awareness Month. It's Arab American Heritage Month and National Child Abuse Prevention Month in America. Meanwhile, here in Jamaica, April is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, Farmers Month, and Financial Literacy Month. In fact, the Jamaica Literary Association is leading the celebration of, and has been leading the celebration of National Reading Week this week. The world is observing Immunization Week this week, and also Jamaica joining the rest of the world in marking Intellectual Property Week. The birthday of the Sultan of Terengganu is being celebrated in Malaysia. Baha'is are celebrating the 9th day of Ridvan. It's Kase Kamari or Wet Momo Glo on Haiti. Ming Lao loyalist Koshinga's landing is being commemorated. That was in Taiwan. And it's shower day in Japan. Hoy es jueves el 29 de abril 2021. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes, desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est jeudi le 29 avril 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
Go to school and learn the golden rule.
All we're saying is it's Thursday, the 29th of April, 2021, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Learning, before you grow old.
We started out this afternoon with that oft repeated gem, Labor for Learning, which has long been converted in the form of this recording that you've been listening to from Desmond Decker. We also recited a quotation that ever so often we like to repeat on this program. The words of the great Francis Bacon, who reminded us that the monuments of wit and learning are more durable than the monuments of power or of the hands. And then he gives examples. For have not the verses of Homer continued 2,500 years or more without the loss of a syllable or letter, during which time infinite palaces, temples, castles, cities have been decayed and demolished? More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 215.
2021 high school graduates across Jamaica. Be a part of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information's groundbreaking sixth form pathway program at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean UCC and benefit from free tuition for 2 years for most programs. Through this sixth form program, high school graduates can transition to grade 12 to earn an associate degree or other vocational certifications after grade 13. Then, if you wish, seamlessly complete your UCC bachelor's degree in just 2 more years. Visit ucc.edu.jm for details or call us at 876-906-3000. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
The e-Gleaner meets your needs for fast and easy comprehensive coverage as we keep you in the know even while on the go. Click, download, and take your stories with you. Create collections and read latest, current affairs and past issues anywhere and anytime with the e-Gleaner. Share in the e-Gleaner experience when you sign up for Gleaner Premium. Learn more at jamaica-gleaner.com/premium.
Is better than silver or gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but our good education will never decay. Little boys, little girls, oh.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to those listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free. Listening is free whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. If you're in the United States and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 631-359-8281, 631-359-8281. And if you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. And we're all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Instagram, LinkedIn, BBM, Yahoo Messenger, Tango, WhatsApp, Snapchat. In fact, we're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to not just hear, but see what's happening on both sides of the story. And if you have no Facebook account or any other social media account for that matter, hey, there's always YouTube, and we're streaming live on YouTube right now. In fact, if you were to go to the YouTube website, you should see this video trending. If it's not trending, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to watch both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Looking forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. The numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but also your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, and indeed, you can WhatsApp us. You can call us via WhatsApp, and you can also dial that same number directly. That number is 876-365-3346. So that's the text line, the WhatsApp number, and the straight line to this side of the glass in the studios, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to those who are already online and on board, watching, listening, and commenting. Let's go straight to, let's see who is hitting us up on Facebook Live right now. It's loading. Here we go. Let's go to Don Marie Smith says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Don Marie Smith. Beverly P. Gordon. Dr. Gordon, good afternoon. How are you? Good to have you on board. Audrey Smith is in Southampton in England. She says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere. Love the opening tune. Keep up the good work. Stay safe, everyone, and take care. And you do the same, Audrey Smith in Southampton in England. Cherry Henry, good afternoon to you too. She said, and the listeners, Cherry Henry says, I love that song. And so do we, Cherry Henry. Jeannie Chambers, good afternoon to you. Errol in New Jersey, welcome. Always a pleasure to have you join us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We see Steve in Toronto, Canada, is quite early today. He has won the competition for the very first caller, and he gets a prize of going on air right now. Steve, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dervan, and good afternoon to your listeners. I actually called with a bit of some sad news from the Toronto Manning's alumni chapter. I just called to share with you and express condolence to the family of one of our executive members, Lorraine Malcolm Atkinson, and also to another alumni association member, Una Paulson Kent. Una and Lorraine were actually founding members of the Toronto chapter, Manning's Blue Blood Toronto chapter, and so I'm just calling to reach out to her family members in Jamaica and to the wider Manning's family in Jamaica to express our sadness and condolence to the family and whatever comfort that they may need, and especially to Lorraine's husband, who is also taking it very hard. I just want to thank you for this opportunity, Dervan. I really appreciate it, and to say the Manning's family in Toronto, and I guess the larger Manning's families in mourning, and I'm just encouraging everyone just to try and take precautions where COVID is concerned. I know that there's a lot of different things that we're hearing out there. It's no joke, because you can get vaccinated, please try and get vaccinated. Thanks very much, Dervan.
Well, thank you for sharing. The circumstances notwithstanding, we join you in conveying condolences to the family of the deceased. So sorry to hear.
Thank you.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. It's the story of the times, as Macaulay Culkin, that's his name, the young man in was that the movie where the little boy says, it's the times. It is indeed the times. Every other call or every other message or every other story is about COVID-19, and not just in isolation, but COVID-19 as it has been affecting family, friends, colleagues, neighbors at home and abroad. And we're not short of reminders. We are reminded every day why we need to take the necessary precautions. Tell that to the people who are always bundling and pretty close, too close for comfort, outside the Crossroads tax office, and I'm sure elsewhere. But I saw that one again this morning, and whenever I pass there, at a certain time, it's usually quite a crush of people trying to get into the tax office. So even in the midst of all that's happening, and or the number of the death rate continues to climb, but people, it's like people don't think COVID can happen to them, so to speak, or it can't do them anything. It's they are smarter than COVID. I don't know what it is. Or is this just this thing in the mind that says, I have to get this done today. I have to do this, no matter what, come hell or high water. And I don't care, COVID or no COVID. I don't know what it is, but surely it's about time. It's been more than a year now. And if people don't get it yet, then they perhaps will never get it. 122 newly confirmed cases, 45,414 overall. We haven't, just trying to bring up, we haven't had any deaths reported within the last 24 hours, any additional deaths from COVID-19. But sadly and tragically, 770 people who were with us last year, whether around this time or just or a couple of, or a month or so before this time last year, they're no longer with us. Sadly, 770 people have died from COVID-19 here in Jamaica. The recoveries continue. 103 recoveries within the last 24 hours. Total recoveries 20,945. There are still 23,337 active cases of COVID-19 in Jamaica. The positivity rate is now 15%. Still no cause for comfort. 220 people in hospital. 9 of those patients moderately ill and 26 critically ill. Let's continue to wear our masks, wash and sanitize our hands as often as possible. And what seems so hard for so many of our people, I don't know if it's because some people say it's because, seriously speaking, because of the way in which our forefathers were transported through the Middle Passage on account of the transatlantic slave trade, where we were pretty much just thrown on a heap and constantly just all over each other. I don't know. Could that be it? That to this day, we don't feel we're happening unless we are bungling. Yeah, bungling. Bungle up. We love to bungle up. And just all over people, in people's faces and that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know if that part of our culture will ever change. I doubt it. But even in this time, and I've had to, standing in line, and if I feel somebody get too close to me, I usually turn around as if to say, can we observe the physical distance, please? I usually don't have to say anything, just the look alone, if they can see my face from behind the mask and the face shield. Come on, we're still in a pandemic. Still in a pandemic. We have to do better than that.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Everyday living, we make it worthwhile. Real people, real value. Oh, what a style! From kitchen to bathroom, a whole heap of tile. Home and things for everyday living. Nice Fix up your home, fix up every room. Shop every day, shop real value. Fixtures and faucets to catch your eye. We have the options, we have the style. Everyday living, so versatile. Real people, real value. Oh, what a style! Lowest price guarantee on everything you see. Homemade things for everyday living.
The Gleaner Premium will excite your digital media experience, satisfy your appetite for exclusive stories and special access to editors' fora, videos, podcasts, and much more. To subscribe, go to jamaica-gleaner.com/premium and select the e-Gleaner or website option. Welcome to your new digital experience, the Gleaner Premium.
Free for a limited time only.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And we continue to convey condolences to all those who have lost family members, friends, colleagues, neighbors, anybody at all. We join in conveying condolences. This virus is no respecter of persons, as is illness overall. Sophia Nemad, good afternoon. Thank you very much for tuning in. Dawn Bernard says, Bonjour Dervan, j'espère que vous allez bien. Bonjour to all listeners. Oui, Dawn Bernard, je vais très bien. Et toi? So Dawn Bernard says, hello Dervan, I hope that you're well. Hello to all listeners. Jennifer Stewart in Kencott, St. Andrew says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Jennifer Stewart. Nicola in Mandeville, Manchester, good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, good afternoon to you too. Thank you very much. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. And let's not forget 876-922-4115. You've got options. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
I'm Clarence Daly. I have a grandson that went to Calabar. I trying to get to you. And he's at home, graduated, and I want you to see what you can do. He need a little something to keep. I don't want him to stay home and wait. He's here on Edward.
No. Oh.
I don't want to talk to you on the ear.
Yeah, well, I do have your information. Obviously, you're learning the story of my life in terms of all the things I have to do, but you're still on the list of people to call.
Yes, sir. It's very important. He's a very little phlegmatic young man. I want you to do what you can do. You need a little job to keep him occupied. Don't want him to stay home and wait and get wasted.
Understandably so. We have taken note of the second call that you've made to us on air on this subject. Yeah. What's that?
Can I give you his mother's name and number?
No, we do have your name and number. So you are our contact. Right? Good. We'll be in touch.
My respect, sir.
Thanks for the call. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, at 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Let's go to GMAC. GMAC says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. I think the presentation by the Education Minister, Mrs. Favour Williams, yesterday was one of the best presentations I've heard from that ministry in a long time. I'd love for them to take it a step further by including environmental protection. It is my personal view that if they include both environmental protection and character building from basic, primary, and high schools, in 20 years, we're going to see a better Jamaica. I strongly believe that kids need to be told what it means to be Jamaican. Kids have a peculiar way of influencing adults, especially, where's the rest of the message? Especially when they can identify right from wrong. They spend most of their wake up hours during week at schools. I therefore can't see a better place for this to be instituted, given the failings of many of our homes. The result of this would redound to a uniformed type of behavior. We would see discipline in public spaces, better homes, respect for laws, and uplifting of communities. It will take some time for us to see the results, but the journey needs to start now. Thank you very much, GMAC, for your message on WhatsApp. It's a subject we've espoused over the years, and not just espousing it, but practicing it as well. Character education. We never miss an opportunity to impart character education. And that has been the case for more than 10 years. Thank you very much for your message, GMAC. Here's a call coming through on WhatsApp from the state of Florida. Let's see. The Sunshine State. Yes. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I want to ask you a question. I just said, the tagline in your program is, what's on your mind? Okay, Mr. Michael Price. No, Michael Sharp, his name, the journalist man. I yet to keep coming up in the news that after him take the vaccine, him die.
No. The chief medical officer was onto that very quickly, very, very quickly, to dispatch that one over the boundary for 6. Or to bowl all those who were batting along those lines. That's out the park. That's no such thing. Let's remember one thing following another is not necessarily an indication of one causing the other. If I clap my hands and the lights in the studio go out, it doesn't necessarily mean that the lights went out because I clapped my hands. It could be that at the point of clapping my hands, coincidentally, the lights, there was a power cut at the same time. So one thing following another is not necessarily an indication of one causing the other. And the experts have done their work, and they have made it very clear from before that puss was let out of the bag, so to speak. They made it very clear, no such thing.
But when they push out the bag, it's difficult to get him back in the bag.
Yeah, when people spread false information, yes. And that's the age we live in, the age of fake news. And some people seem to delight in fake news.
Yeah, but those are responsible for putting out the news. Especially people in the media.
No responsible news outlet, no bona fide certified responsible news outlet put out any such information.
What is on the news, we hear it until I get it clear up.
No, what you hear on the news? I don't understand what you're saying. What you're
Okay, the news said.
No, you're not going to repeat it either. No, the news could never tell you that. That's fake news. That's fake news.
Yeah, but Mr. Malcolm, even if it's fake news, it's something come on the air, and that's how people end up with that belief.
It's not
until they get it clear up.
On the fake news air. No reputable media house put out any such story linking the two situations. No reputable.
Until they get it clear, but are they when him just died? That's so he come on the news.
I am saying
Other people,
no reputable media house would have made a connection. In any case, they wouldn't be competent enough to make that connection, which is why Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa McKenzie, the Jamaica's chief medical officer, was out the blocks very quickly to mash down that lie.
Okay. So when they said people were threatening the nurse who gave him the vaccine, is that also a lie?
No, you didn't introduce that earlier on. You're introducing that now. And that is born out of ignorance. That is born out of ignorance. And those who have been engaging in fake news just to try and create. You have to understand, a lot of people are bored. Boredom is a hell of a thing, you know. We have a lot of bored people. And when people are bored, as my late mother would say, the devil finds work for idle hands. And she would also ask if people are behaving in a certain way. You're haunted? You're haunted? We have a lot of haunted people in Jamaica too.
Yeah, I know, because they even tell us with the lockdown, it creates some serious problem at home with some families. I know when people bored, this thing happen. But the point I'm really making is, if they're not sure what he died from, they don't the autopsy report, they'll be careful what they send out in the public.
No, but you think it's basic school students you're talking to?
No, I'm not saying it's you.
Look, the data. No. I'm not talking me. I'm not in this. I'm taking myself out of this to get to the point. Jamaica is a part of a global team of people analyzing every single thing that is happening throughout this pandemic, generating data. And that data goes in the global pool of data for further analyses. This is serious business. This is nothing to fool around with. So our people have to be clear. Trust is critical in this exercise. So we must be able to trust the evidence that our experts put forward when they would have done the autopsies and all the other things they have to do to arrive at a definitive position as to what happened. So that, which is why, in the case of a let's say a murder or a suicide, God forbid, a body is found with a gun beside it, and the body has a gunshot to the wound to the head. The people, you don't just take up the body and conclude, oh, this person died from a gunshot. No, there has to be a general. It could be that the individual was poisoned, and upon realizing that he or she was poisoned, he or she decided to take that route. In other words, on the verge of realizing that this thing is having an impact on me, I am going to be the one to take me out, as opposed to this thing taking me. That's the point we're making. You have to drill down and have all the checks and balances done before you come to a conclusion. You don't rush to a conclusion because people are out there spreading fake news. You have to take your time and go through it and make sure you know exactly what happened or didn't happen. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Join OneSpotMedia.com for 5 exhilarating days of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships live on OneSpotMedia.com pay-per-view from May 11 to May 15, 2021. Purchase your early bird season pass by April 26 for only US $25.99. The early bird season pass by May 3 for US $27.99, or the regular season pass for US $34.99. Simply log in to OneSpotMedia.com, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go, so don't miss out on Jamaica's most anticipated sporting event. Purchase your pay-per-view ticket today.
Double touch. Same frequency goes old school. This Saturday, May 1, 9 p.m. to midnight. Drop some legs to old school bangers. Spun by Captain Colin Hines, Donovan Dakers, and DJ Narity. And party with Nisha Yen in our Zoom VIP area and across our social media platforms. Support the Holy Child with International Alumni Tablet per Child campaign. Cash app or call 876-465-1881 for more information. It's Same Frequency. Old school. Live on RETV. Pay 95, Radio Jamaica 94, and One Spot Media, powered by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
I want a man come and ride me ready.
And go to school and learn the golden rules. You will find out what I'm saying.
Thanks for staying with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. So that's we just need to recognize the kind of world we're living in, and the kind of ways in which everybody wants a hype, and everybody, as they say in the dance hall, everybody wants a forward. And so people put all kinds of information out there, all kinds of what some of them would call convenient truths. It's convenient to put something out there because nobody can tell me, say, I know saw this go. And I hide them, I hide it. And I lie them, I tell, etc., etc. No, let's not perpetuate lunacy.
Jamaican people have a way of thought. When them hear two story, the one that them believe is that the one them hold on upon. All the way I saw it going. So
I am Jamaican, and I am not like that.
Most Jamaican.
I don't know how you could come to that conclusion unless you have done a scientific study on all Jamaicans to come to that conclusion, or most Jamaicans.
Well, let me put it a better way then. Most Jamaican from the inner city.
No, there you go, stigmatizing. There you go, stigmatizing people now.
So, Mr. Malcolm,
yes.
You don't, well, I know a man like you travel around Jamaica a lot. Sometimes I listen to your program in various different parts of Jamaica. And I'm sure you must have heard that argument before.
What
when
argument?
They sell a person two stories about a person. The one that is, most time the one is not true is the one they hold on to. For instance, if you hear say me help somebody, and you don't know him as a person who has to help people, but you hear say me a thief, they will more well on the one that say me a thief. Am I right or am I wrong?
I don't know that there is any way of demonstrating that this is in fact so. People will run with whatever they want to run with. There are those who yeah, I mean, there's nowhere else to go from there. People will, when people listen, and the classic example would have been that story of there was a shootout between police and gunmen in Tivoli Gardens some years ago, and the news presenter was Carrie Ann Lee. The news reporter was, what's his name now? Kirkwright. And the lead in the newscast was something to the effect of, I still have it on tape, something to, I haven't listened to it in a while, something to the effect that shooting whatever in Tivoli with the police admitting that innocent lives were lost. That was the stinger. And then there was a break in transmission. I'm trying to remember how it went. A break of sorts. And then when Carrie Ann Lee came back on, the line changed essentially. As it turns out, what the policeman had said, his name escapes me for the moment, was let's just say it was misinterpreted. It was misinterpreted, and therefore his position was misrepresented. So because I normally tape the news, I rewound the tape over and over and over and over and over again. And I brought the recording to the studios of Power 106 and played it. And people were saying, no, me hear it. I saw that them said the police are innocent people. And even an individual, I won't trouble him at this age, but even he got into it and call and saying, you know, this and that and whatever. I remember it. And the policeman who had made the correct statement saw me, I think it was at Champs or wherever, and he said to me, boy, you really do both sides of the story. Because people were saying all kinds of things. And Mr. Perkins was a little more careful, because I was explaining, I told him, this is the tape. I tape the newscasts. And even now, even today, I still tape both newscasts on both stations. And Mr. Perkins referenced what I had said as well. But some people, because it's the break that did that, how the misrepresentation and then the coming after the break. So by the time Carrie Ann Lee was back on camera and giving the correct version of the story, people were busy saying, you see it? See it, and all police admit, say, them kill the man, them innocent and whatever, and all kinds of things. I'll never forget that. I still have the tape, yes.
Yeah, but I know what Jamaican people, once I went on the part with them, like, I grew up in Jamaica, and ever since I come here, I've been everywhere.
I don't think it's unique to Jamaicans either. It's people. There's a quotation I love very much. It says, a man, and this is man being used in a generic way, meaning women as well. A man can only understand according to his level of understanding. A man can only understand according to his level of understanding. So I am going to apply whatever my level of understanding, I am going to apply it to the story, to the news, to what people say, whatever. I'm going to apply my level of understanding, whatever that level is. And there's another quotation that comes to mind as well that speaks to the same thing, so that the person, the interpretation of that which is presented is subject to the capacity of the individual seeking to interpret that information. So people will always hear what they want to hear. There are those who will hear the facts and recognize the facts, or get the information and recognize what is fact and what is fiction. But there are those who are not so discerning, And this is not limited to any particular class of people, right across the board. People according to what their fundamental belief is, what their background, all elements, their socialized, all kinds of things. It's like I heard Mr. Coombs calling my schoolmate and former teacher, my former math teacher, attorney at law, Andre Earl, and his father was principal of Calabar as well, calling Andre Earl and saying something to the effect that if the man was beating the woman in the house, then it wouldn't be. I don't want to misquote him, but essentially saying it's because he was beating the woman in the video. The man was beating the woman in the video in the public space, as in outside of their private home. That's why it was able to be captured. But almost as, and then somebody else called. I happened to have been monitoring and heard a man called about, 4 minutes to 1 o'clock? About 4 minutes to 1 or there, and saying the same thing or words to that effect. And Andre Earl was saying, you can't be serious. Well, fortunately, not fortunately, the call got disconnected for whatever reason. But this is it. So there are some people who don't see anything wrong with a woman beating a man or a man beating a woman. It's people don't see anything. I mean, for the man, of course, they see the man where the man is being beaten. They see the man as being soft and sopsy and girlish and all kinds of things. But it's just people's mindset, and whatever your mindset, you are going to apply that to whatever information you will receive. And that's exactly how you will receive it, according to your mindset, according to your level of understanding, according to your socialization, according to your own thoughts and ideas on certain things in life.
But there's a song, and every time I hear that song, I listen carefully. With there's someone that says, power in the word. I can hear that song already. There's a little line in it that said, be careful what you say because the damage already done. Once it get out there, no matter you try to explain it, no matter you try to put it up, once them will unpan it, there's nothing you can do about it.
And that's one of the lessons I'm always happy to share with the young people. I say to them, with a motor vehicle, before that vehicle can move, all other things being equal, before that vehicle can move, you have to put it in gear. You have to put it in gear before. So I say to them, it's the same way we must put our brain in gear before we employ the organs of speech. So engage your brain before employing the organs of speech, because as you just reiterated and confirmed once again, that once those words get out of the mouth, once they go out, that is it. We can't reel them back in. We can't cry cree. No, me never ready. Make me start over. No, the words would have gone out already. And this is why we must engage the brain. And this is an original quotation. Thank you very much. Anybody who's going to use it, please. It's copyrighted. Engage your brain before employing the organs of speech.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Because before I close, pertaining to Mr. Sharp here, I go to work one evening and someone raised that question to me if I hear some argument about the vaccine was going on. And,
all right, we're up on another break. We're on the break. One moment, please.
You will find out what I'm saying to you. That I could
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Contractors, designers, do-it-yourselfers, get your construction aids, scaffolding, props, and more from Garrow Trading. Visit our boutique showroom, choose from a variety of tiles, toilets, drains, and stones. Open 9 to 5 Mondays to Fridays, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. 169 Constant Spring Road, Kingston 8. 876-634-9773-4. 876-669-8996. Garrow Trading and Installation Limited. Design your style.
Jamaicans, our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been displaced by recent volcanic eruptions and need our help. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has set up a relief fund to supplement the logistic support being offered by the Jamaican government. Play your part by donating to Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management ODPEM account number 212-387-304 at National Commercial Bank, Oxford Place Branch. That's account number 212-387-304. Account name ODPEM. Account type current. We are one Caribbean. Let's all lend a helping hand. A message from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Join OneSpotMedia.com for 5 exhilarating days of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships live on OneSpotMedia.com pay-per-view from May 11 to May 15, 2021. Purchase your early bird season pass by April 26 for only US $25.99. The early bird season pass by May 3 for US $27.99, or the regular season pass for US $34.99. Simply log in to OneSpotMedia.com, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go, so don't miss out on Jamaica's most anticipated sporting event. Purchase your pay-per-view ticket today.
Oh, yeah. Just take my advice.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-411225. Yes, you were saying?
Yeah, I went to work the evening and there was a conversation about the vaccine thing there. And a Jamaican guy, me and him work together. He said to me, said, you know, you said someone said that from the vaccine. And he was talking about Mr. Sharp. But I didn't hear every that time, so another lady said, no, but he might have a problem, and he might have a problem. So I tell myself, say, all right, tomorrow morning, which is the following day, I'm going to take in the news. So I turned my radio on and listen to what the news didn't say is it killing me. What the news said, he died after taking it.
No.
So
No. Dying after taking it would be dying almost immediately. The CMO, the chief medical officer, was quite clear. He became ill because of COVID. He did not become ill because of the vaccine. It was also disclosed, which a lot of people were shocked to hear, but it was also disclosed that he had a heart condition as well.
yeah, that's why I say that he have had a problem. But the saying goes, the first news get out there, Jamaican people going to hold on to it. I know that for a fact.
No, those of us who know better need to do better. Yeah.
And I didn't know he was a policeman either. During the conversation, the guy reached out to me, said, you know, like somebody know well and all that. But so that was sometime.
Yeah, so it is.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What is life, man?
I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
You stand to the mighty life giver who give us life to live.
What's on your
Yeah,
mind
man,
this
say
afternoon?
three little things still, but me da ask a question still. The media report to the nation, 'cause over the radio we hear it, and on the TV. The Michael Sharp died after taking the vaccine.
No,
Who
they
put
they
that on the
no
radio?
no they could not have. This is what I said. No responsible, reputable media house would have put out that information, because that's just not true. That's not true. So there's a difference. There's a difference between what you hear people saying and a reputable, bona fide news media putting information out there. It's a totally different thing. Anybody can broadcast these days, you know. Everybody's a broadcaster. They record themselves and they send it on WhatsApp and they post it wherever else on social media, and people start to share. You know, hear this, share, because everybody has their own newscasts. I don't know if you have realized that. For those of us who are on social media, we realize that people record their own newscasts and send them all over the place.
Advertisement that a people pay for that news that come across the TV and the media. What do you?
What's that? What are you saying?
It's people in radio who have authority to do that. Like it appears the advertisement to say Michael Sharp died.
No, but stop repeating it, because that's not true. Don't you repeat it. If you repeat it one more time, that's it. We're not into the business of sending out misinformation. Please. Did you have another point? All right. Well, he went. Yeah. You see, the other thing is there are people who have their own agenda. Remember, we said people come from different positions when it comes to certain information. So if I am vaccine hesitant, or not so much those who are hesitant, but if I am an anti-vaxxer, then any story or any fabrication or any ill-informed connection of two items of news to make one, which will help to support a particular position, then people will trumpet it and people will say, yes, upon the news, me hear it. Now, anybody can say they heard something on the news. People blame the news all the time for good things and bad things, you know, and they hear some of it without a doubt. But a lot of us listen and don't hear. We hear what we want to hear. And if we don't hear what we want to hear, we find a way to concoct some story, some tale, some fib that would suit our narrative. And we have to understand that's the world that we live in. Now, we're not talking those who have genuine concerns. There are those who have genuine concerns. There are those who ask reasonable questions. And there are those who have, some could say, good reason to take the positions that they take, which is fine. People are free to take whatever positions they want to take. But we are not going to be used as a platform, at least as long as I'm involved, have anything to do with it, to be trying to create some kind of a panic or unnecessary fear, etc. No, we're not going to be a part of that. We're not going to be a part of that. Everybody wants something to run with. Everybody want a forward. Everybody want, yeah, I saw it go. Me not care where them wants. And everybody, because everybody can broadcast these days. You can go live on Facebook. You can go live on Twitter. You can go live on Instagram. You can go live on YouTube. So anybody can do that. That's the space we operate, the general space we operate in these days. But those of us who are affiliated with reputable institutions need to protect that reputation by virtue of the output from our respective platforms. So it is. This one from Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Mr. Malcolm, I don't think the bungling has anything to do with slavery. I think it has to do more with disrespect. It's a lack of respect for people's space. That's a very good point, Patriotic Jamaican in New York. There is something to be said. You're onto something there, and it's people who don't respect people's space. You are correct. And we see it if you're passing through Halfway Tree right now, or Crossroads, or downtown, or Mandeville, or Montego Bay, just pay attention. Look if you don't see people being, as we say in Jamaica, haul and pull. People are haul and pull people. In people's space, people walking, going about their business, and people, as we say in Jamaica, itch up beside them. And I try lyrics them, as it were, as we say in Jamaican parlance. People don't respect people's space. It is true. And it's also tough for some of us to live in a community. Some of us have no concept about what a community is and the respect that is accorded to members of the community, so that you're free to do whatever you want to do within your space, as long as what you're doing is not breaching the freedom of the neighbor. Freedom to a good night's rest, for example. Freedom to have a good night's rest, etc. Right? So you are correct. It is disrespect. But then some people don't understand. So, for example, I've had a couple of experiences with doing business at certain places. Now, normally you enter, let's say there is a cashier. There is space between you and the cashier. And there are markers on the floor. But at the same time, you're not going to just, well, as I learned it, my understanding, you don't just rush up to the cashier. The cashier could very well be doing something pertinent to his or her work. And therefore, you wait for the cashier to invite you into that space, so to speak. So I've done that a couple of times, just to stand and wait to be invited. And as it turned out, a couple of female cashiers, and neither of them recognized that. They were like, the thinking was, so when not come if him wants, sir, when stand up over there suffer. Because I respect your space. And it's the same thing in terms of how we relate to each other. You respect the other person's space, and you really should not invade the other person's space without being invited into that space. It's just general respect. General respect. It's I sometimes liken it to the court scenario where the lawyer says, "Your Honor, can I approach the bench?" Yes, you seek permission to enter that space. So you're onto something, Patriotic Jamaican in New York. It's a lack of respect for people's space. Let's pick up on that point in a moment.
Go to school and learn the golden rules.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3:15. Hose Assembly and Supply HAS is the best at what they do. They supply hoses, fittings, and tools. They guarantee they are unbeatable in price and quality combined. Branded by you as the hose and tool boss with the most effective industrial solutions. Come, experience the joy of shopping with the hose boss. Call 876-923-3936 or visit them at 173 Hagley Park Road, 2 Charlesworth Crescent, or Montego Bay Trade Center. HAS would like to thank their customers for over 30 years.
With all that's been happening for 2020, it may be easy to forget about the transatlantic hurricane season. But don't worry too much because we've got you covered. Literally, with tarpaulins, umbrellas, and raincoats.
We have candles, flashlights, lanterns, and batteries, cleaning and sanitization supplies, brooms, rakes, bins, multi-purpose containers, and buckets. We even have drinking water and non-perishable food items too.
Let us help keep you and your family taken care of this hurricane season. Stay aware, stay safe, and get prepared. At Bashco, at 30 years, giving you more.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First San in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First San team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First San in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First San Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
Bay Frequency goes old school this Saturday, May 1, 9 p.m. to midnight. Drop some legs to old school bangers spun by the Captain Colin Hines, Donovan Dakers, and DJ Narity, and party with Nisha Yen in our Zoom VIP area and across our social media platforms. Support the Holy Childhood International Alumni Tablet per Child campaign. Cash app or call 876-465-1881 for more information. It's Pain Frequency old school live on RETV, Bay 95, Radio Jamaica 94, and One Spot Media. Powered by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
I want a man come and ride me ready. Take my advice and go to school and learn the golden rules. You will find out what I'm saying to you.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Just to finish this message before we go back to the phone lines, to finish this message from Patriotic Jamaican in New York. He says it's a lack of respect for people's space and the feeling that they can do whatever they want and no one can do anything about it. Just look at the reaction if you ask these people to adhere to the distance protocols. They're ready to kill you for protecting your personal space. Yes, it's just a lack of respect, manners, and me better than you attitude that permeate the Jamaican society. Thank you very much, Patriotic Jamaican in New York, for your message. Let's go to the phone lines once again. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Are you there? Hello? Maybe that person got tired of holding. Sorry about that. 876-922-4112-5. There's a call coming through on our WhatsApp line, which doubles as our text line. 876-365-3346. Let's see if we can bring this call up. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello. No, there's a lot going on in that background. Sorry, can't work with that. Try again, please. Crowded background there. Tevin says, cut that call, please, Dervan, because I don't know which news him a talk about. No certified news outlet never bring up such information. They only carry the story about the nurse receiving a lot of threats. You have some people on YouTube putting up video and misleading people with fake information. Dervan, I don't know if it's equipment in the studio or what, but at time your voice is in a slow, deep mode. I wonder if I'm the only one noticing it. Well, that's what happens when somebody says something on the radio. Well, when we first get wind of the fact, because before you hear it on the radio, whatever is said on the radio, before you hear it, we hear it first. We hear it before it goes out. So we are able to press a button or flick a switch to ensure that if it's something that should not go out, it's not allowed to go out. So when that happens, the system in then sort of recalibrating itself gives off that warbled sound, that slow warbled sound. I know the sound you're talking about. I heard it up to this morning, I think it was. Yes, that's what happens. Usually when you hear that, it's just that somebody would have said something or something was about to go out on the air that we don't want to go out on the air. And so we cut it. We ensured that it would not have gone out on air. So as the system is now recalibrating, you get that warbled sound, right? Hope you got that, Tevin. And the rest of your message. All right, see your voice come back to normal here now. It's not in that deep, slow mode again. Yeah, that's what happened. When we don't want to breach the Broadcasting Commission standards, we take that action to ensure that misinformation doesn't go out, or inaccurate information, or fake news, or false. You get the picture. Let's go to another call. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Long time I've heard from you, man, but I just listen. I keep listening.
Listening is good.
Yes. Now, I have a great concern, Mr. Malcolm, in regards to...
With regard to?
Traveling on the road here in Jamaica.
Yes.
Now, I have to travel from St. James into Hanover probably every 7 days a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see nowhere on this road to drive more than 50 kilo, right? From Montego Bay to Savlamar. You know,
what's the name of the road?
Is Montego Bay to Sav and going through Anchovy, Mount Carey, Montpella, right? And there's a corner before you get to the Baptist Church at Mount Carey. I count 10 accidents since the start of this month, right? Prior to right now, I'm in the traffic for about an hour and a half. As the rain drizzles, there's a horseshoe corner just as you leave Anchovy and go up. So I'm just asking if the government can x-ray that corner to see what can be done, if a few meters can cut off of it or something. But as I said, I count 10 accidents since the start of this month.
Yeah, but what would have caused those crashes or collisions?
No, but as soon as they negotiate that corner, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, but this is the thing. We have this is why we need the information, because a corner is what it is, and cornering is a key part of driving. And we know that we're not supposed to speed around corners either. We don't know what lies around the corner. I'm always amazed when I see people overtaking around corners and so on. So we do some really reckless things when we are ready on the roads, not least of all at the point of a corner in Jamaica.
Yes.
So I don't know the extent to which grading, what's the term? Grading that side of the the road will make too much of a difference. You're pretty much, I hate to put it this way, but my mother used to use the expression, you're giving people rope to hang themselves, it seems, because people bawl for road and they want road and they get road and they kill themselves. Look at those two motorcyclists. And it's been going on for a long time. We have done broadcasts from Westmoreland focusing on this matter, where you have people, motorcyclists who call themselves members of the no headlight crew and the no mirror crew, or all kinds of crews. And therefore, they were operating in the dark, out and stunting, because everybody's into stunting these days, it seems. All the motorcyclists, they don't feel good unless they do a wheelie in the middle of the road, wherever, because they feel like it. So there's a lot of recklessness that is happening on the road. People, I don't know, my late mother would say them donkya. It essentially means they don't care. But donkya really means it is deep, it runs deep. Your kind of carelessness runs deep. So yes.
I saw some of the bikes through, Mr. Malcolm. They put on some farmer switch, right? And then when they come into the square, they squeeze it and then it personates firearm. It let go some farmer, that sound.
Yeah, I think the motorcycles, I think, have a natural, what do you call it now, a noise suppressant, some system there. And I think when you remove it, whatever it is, maybe I'm giving it the wrong name, but whatever it is, when you remove it, the noise that the motorcycle makes is even more pronounced. So that's another thing that they do. Because again, you see, this is why socialization is so important. People without self-esteem, something becomes, for example, without self-esteem, I am my motorcycle. In other words, without my motorcycle, I am nobody. Without self-esteem, I am my gun. Without my gun, I am nobody, etc., etc. And you can take that in whichever direction you wish. And so when that happens, that's where the three-letter word, man's biggest problem, comes in: ego. The ego, because then that is what I have. This is what I have, and I want everybody. So I don't even want to wear any helmet, because if I wear a helmet, nobody going to say is me. That's the thinking. Them not all them going to say is me if I put on the helmet. And just totally missing the point that the helmet is for protection.
And to me, them spoiling the beauty of the bike by riding so fast. But it must be a charge for you to use the bike to personate the sound of a firearm. There's got to be a charge for that. Because there's some nice amazement you're doing. Right? Unnecessarily. Because that is not coming from a pregnite from the bike.
Yeah.
Right?
Public
and
nuisance.
And motor cars are doing it too.
Yes.
I tell you, man, there's a lot of recklessness and lawlessness is taking place for you, Mr. Malcolm, and we have to put some teeth into it. It can't continue like this. They are frightening the whole of people. They are frightening the people them that is coward and good and help to build this country. I want the government to ban alcohol for at least 16 years from them and bring back this country. The lockdown, when I see they take place, I see a lot of them more conscious now. All three them on my lane here. I never see them so conscious from the day me know them until the lockdown start and the whole heap of party all over can just keep blowing. Since then, a lot of these guys they get conscious. I wish the government could have continued with it at least for another 16 years. Well, and this country will be in a better place. I'm not lie to you. In my days, a 2 times we go to sport, Christmas time and August time. And we build this country and our parents. I must tell you that. So taking to me, all these party business is secondary matter.
Yes,
it's something that we can live without.
We're on to another break. Don't know if you'd like to hold or that's it.
Bless up yourself.
Thank you for the call. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
Come to Stewart's Hardware 2-day spring super sale. Friday, April 30th and Saturday, May 1. 2 days filled with super discounts. Get all the hardware, houseware, plants, and lots more of all you've always wanted at super sweet prices. You simply can't afford to miss Stewart's Hardware spring sale. That's April 30th and May 1. There'll be fantastic savings just for you. Stewart's Hardware and Home Center, building value. Ministry of Health and Wellness COVID-19 protocols will be enforced.
The e-Gleaner meets your needs for fast and easy comprehensive coverage as we keep you in the know even while on the go. Click, download, and take your stories with you. Create collections and read later. Current affairs and past issues anywhere and anytime with the e-Gleaner. Share in the e-Gleaner experience when you sign up for Gleaner Premium. Learn more at jamaica-gleaner.com/premium.
Little boys, little girls.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Some more messages now. This one says, this is a text message. Good day. Please get someone from the transport sector to tell us what about the railway. We need the train service. It's always sad when that subject comes up, to think that Jamaica was the third country in the world to have a railway service, a rail service, third country in the world. And that would have been behind the, what was it? I need to refresh my memory. I think Canada, the US, Canada, and the UK. Yeah, let me not say too much more, but third country in the world to have a railway system. Our rail service was established in 1845. I think the cost was about £225,000. And was it the Henriquez brothers? In other words, that's a rich part of our heritage. And the least we could have done would have been to offer to create an attraction, so that Jamaicans and visitors alike would be able to ride the train, even if we, for whatever reason, would not have been able at all to operate a modern train system, but at least something to say to the world, hey, did you know Jamaica was third in the world to have a rail service? Yeah, we have nothing to show for it, do we? Well, for those who cared enough, we have the pictures, and we have what's left of the train stations, or where they used to be. That's the thing. We don't recognize the value in our history. We spend so much time cursing it and don't realize that we can flip it. I always like to use the example of Robben Island in South Africa, which is now a tourist attraction. Yes, it's now a tourist attraction. And if you're not making the connection yet, that is where Nelson Mandela was held for a couple of decades, I believe, more than a couple of decades, about Well, he was imprisoned for about 27 years, but the time was split between Robben Island, what's the other one? Paulsmoor Prison, and Victor, yeah, whatever the other one. But Robben Island, uh, perhaps on account of the fact that he would have spent most of his time at Robben Island. Robben Island, Robben, is now a tourist attraction, earning a lot of money for South Africa. But it also is a constant reminder of where South Africa is coming from and should never, ever return to. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon. We're hearing more of the humming, buzzing sound than we're hearing you.
Hello, Mr. Dervan.
All right, it doesn't sound as if you're hearing me either. Let's see if we can maybe take a number and call back, or otherwise clear that up, because I'm a listener to radio. And the slightest thing, if I turn to your radio station and your signal is flipping and it's not clear, I'm not going to stay. I'm going to move on, actually, even if I really wanted to hear what was going on, because I find it annoying, which is why I might come across to some as being a little picky when it comes on to the quality of the sound, the audio that we put out. I'm not just as one who has been in this business for almost 28 years now, but as one who tries to set high standards and try as best as possible to at least maintain, if not surpass, those standards. So please call us back. The experts tell us that invariably, if you make a call and the line is not that hot, the quality of the connection is poor, it works like a charm. It's almost guaranteed to work. Just hang up and call back, and the chances are you will get a better line. So please do that. Can we salute the team at the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin? They do outstanding work, and they don't miss, as we say in Jamaican parlance. They don't miss. They do really good work, and it's a kind of work that is important now more than ever. Data driven. The decisions now more than ever must be data driven, and Statin has been feeding us with data. So, for example, they published today the producer price index. So for March 2021, output prices for producers in the mining and quarrying industry increased by 3.7%. Output prices for March this year, output prices for producers in the mining and quarrying industry increased by 3.7% and 2.8% in the manufacturing industry, as released today by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. So output prices for the producers in the mining and quarrying industry increased by 3.7%, and for the manufacturing industry by 2.8%. Statin says the movement in the index for the mining and quarrying industry was influenced mainly by an increase of 3.8% in the index for the major group bauxite mining and alumina processing. The index for the other major group, other mining and quarrying, moved up by 1.3%. The main contributors to the increase in the index for the manufacturing industry were the major groups: refined petroleum products, which moved up by 8%, food, beverages, and tobacco up by 1.7%, and fabricated metal products, which increased by 8.1%. Statin says the point-to-point index for the mining and quarrying industry rose by 10.9%, due mainly to an increase of 11.2% in the index for the major group bauxite mining and alumina processing. The point-to-point index for the manufacturing industry increased by 7.5%. And for the 2020-2021 fiscal year, April 2020 to March 2021, the index for the mining and quarrying industry increased by 30%, while the index for the manufacturing industry increased by 9.7%. You can always visit statinja.gov.jm so that in your own time and space you can go through and learn more of how these numbers impact our lives. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Fine, Mr. Dervan.
Good. What's on your mind this afternoon?
You are a teacher and you're smart. Have a nice day. Bye.
Oh, that's kind of you. Thank you. Thanks for the call. Take care. That's very kind of you to say. Your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's clear some more messages. They've been coming in. Let's see. This one says, good day. Oh, yes, I read that one already. Let's move to another one. That was from Richie in Mobay. This one says, good day, Dervan. I am an educated Jamaican who reads, analyzes data, and makes my own informed decisions. I am a leader, not a follower. We're happy to hear that. And that's not a bad phrase to inculcate in the minds of our children. We must tell our children that they are leaders, not followers, or they are to be or become, or not even become. Right now, they are to be leaders, not followers. Nothing is wrong with followers. We always have followers. But if one puts oneself in a leadership position, in a leadership mindset, then chances are that will have a very good outcome, relatively speaking, on how we behave, because we see ourselves in a particular light, and we recognize that whatever we do will have implications one way or another not only for ourselves but for those looking on. So that's always a good thing to inculcate in the minds of our children. Be a leader, not a follower. And of course, we all can't be leaders, just to once again reiterate the point. But the hope is that we will strive to, in our own right, lead. There's something to be done, and we're in a position to do it, get it done. Sometimes when we do that, we do it perhaps even better than the person who would normally do it. And that person might then come to us and say, I noticed you did this. Thank you very much for doing this for me. How you get it to go that way as opposed to the other way? So that's how we help to take others along with us as well. That's the idea. Some more of your messages before we go back to the phone lines. Wayne says, good day. How can you be a patriotic Jamaican, but you live in New York? Very funny. Who are you loyal to? Who would you make the sacrifice for? I think the place where you live. No, you don't have to be domiciled in Jamaica to be patriotic. There are patriotic Jamaicans all over the world. One moment, please.
All gold, silver and gold will vanish away.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First and in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First and team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First and in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First and Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
Same frequency goes old school. This Saturday, May 1, 9 p.m. to midnight. Drop some legs to old school bangers. Spot by Captain Colin Hines, Donovan Dakers, and DJ Narity. And party with Nisha Yen in our Zoom VIP area and across our social media platforms. Support the Holy Child with International Alumni Tablet per Child campaign. Cash app or call 876-465-1881 for more information. It's Same Frequency. Old school. Live on RETV, Pay 95, Radio Jamaica 94, and One Spot Media. Powered by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
I want a man come and ride me ready. Always little girls, just take my advice and go to school and learn the golden rules. You will find out. Oh, yeah.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon to Steve in Toronto, Canada. Steve says, Dervan Malcolm, while I appreciate the current need for extra lessons, in addition to providing funding, we also need to strengthen the current education system. So extra lessons would be an exception rather than the rule. Seems as if extra lessons are now or is now a norm, says Steve in Toronto, Canada. Yeah, in fact, I have a story on that. There's when I went to primary school, and I'm not going to call the name of the school right now, but I've mentioned it here before anyway. But there, we were told, we were encouraged to attend extra lessons or extra classes. But my mother couldn't afford extra classes or extra lessons. And so I was unable to attend these extra classes or extra lessons. Now, one of the things we were told is that, and this was in preparation for common entrance exam. And one of the things we were told was that at the end of the exams, we should ensure that we're going to need a recommendation from the school to take to our new school, whichever school we would pass for. And I went to a certain teacher who will remain nameless to ask for a recommendation. Mind you, she eventually did it, and I still have that letter of recommendation to this day. I really didn't need it anyway, but her response was, "Me no know where someone now go for recommendation letter because uno even come extra lesson, uno come extra lesson." I remember it like it was yesterday, and yeah. So that has been with us for a very, very long time. And it is an indictment on our education system that we still have a scenario where the individual educational institutions are unable, it seems, to effectively prepare every single child for the next phase of their development. Hence, extra lessons. But it shouldn't be. It seems to me a scientific, meticulous, and design-oriented approach. And I know we have the education transformation team. We know Professor Patterson heads a team and all of that. But we have had so many of these committees and teams and over the years, and we're still where we are. So I don't know. Some of us will have to see it to believe it. But having said that, we don't need extra lessons. We don't need extra classes. What we need to do is to equip our educational institutions with, in every sense of the word, equip. And it means, and this is now where once you start talking about this, there are so many layers. There are so many layers. And we shouldn't try to eat the whole cake all at the same time. But to recognize there's just so much to be done that we might have to do them simultaneously, do the things that need to be done simultaneously where possible, or treat these matters in order of priority. What do we have to do right now? It's a question we should ask ourselves every day, actually, almost periodically in any given day. That's how we get done what we need to do. And even so, some of us still struggle in that regard. But what do I have to do right now? What are the priorities? And it requires all hands on deck. So the education ministry can't do it alone. The Jamaica Teachers Association and its members can't do it alone. The individual institutions, etc., etc. There are so many layers. But what is clear, and we have known this for a long time, is that we need to do a total rethink, overhaul, rehabilitation, you name it, all kinds of terms to affix to this mammoth task that we have before us. But it can be done. It can be done. But we have to be as data-driven as possible, though, in arriving at the solutions, in arriving at the fixes. And we're not talking temporary fixes either. Yes, in many situations, you have to stop the bleeding first, which is important. We understand that. We get that. You stop the bleeding first, and then you do the other things that need to be done. But we must make data-driven decisions. And we know that there are people who have made, and we have no problems with people making money, but people have made some serious money from extra lessons. And if people have choice, there are parents and guardians who might choose that I'm still not satisfied with the performance I'm seeing from my child, so I'm going to make available to my child extra lessons. People are free, parents and guardians are free to do that. What we're saying, though, is let us examine what exists now in our education system and see if we can't minimize the need for extra lessons, for extra classes. That subject was raised by Steve in Toronto, Canada. Thank you for your message. He says, we also need to strengthen our infant and primary education program. You are correct. Golden Brown, good afternoon to you. Thank you for tuning in. Lady Jean in Monique St. Anne says, good afternoon, Dervan, the Power 106 team, and all our listeners. Oh, what a time we're facing. The news from India is so sad. One of the observations I noted was that there was an almost there was almost a back to normal situation, as if COVID had left there. See the results, even if a new strain, the virus was still there. Jamaica, beware. People, be responsible. Follow the protocols. Let's care for each other. Please say hi to Miss Olive. I love her humor. Take care, my son, of another mother. Keep safe. Blessings. Thank you very much, Lady Jean and Monique St. Anne. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Faye Weller. Gaveth Peterson, good afternoon to you. Dave McLaughlin says, nice show. Thank you very much, Dave McLaughlin. Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut is on. And Angela is in Toronto, Canada. Greeting everybody. Let's go to our WhatsApp line, which doubles as our text line. 876-365-3346. Raskaba has been holding on the line. Greetings, Raskaba. Let's make sure we can hear him. Just a second. Yes, Raskaba, greetings.
Yeah, man, blessed love to guy. I just love to say, regret to all the members and friends of Septimus Minot who we just gave a send-off a couple of hours ago. Mrs. Minot, just allow him to go and just live by his legacies and memories that he would have left, and stay strong and focused.
We join you in conveying our sympathies to the grieving family.
If you need sympathy, then you can accept it or eat mother's party, but so you go regrets and all of that is still in order.
Indeed.
You know that a leader is no more important than the follower. Because a leader would not exist if there's no followers.
I think we essentially made that point earlier on, but go on.
No, I didn't hear you say that.
Well, I can't take responsibility for what you hear, Raskaba.
You didn't say that.
Remember what we said earlier on about subject to one's own interpretation and whatever position you're coming from and how you hear what you hear. So I can't help you with that.
What was emphasized is that one must always strive to be a leader and not a follower. That was your emphasized message that you put across.
Your interpretation, but that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with striving to be a leader. That's the essential point. There's absolutely nothing wrong, and we should try to be leaders in our own right. So you should always aspire to be the number one carpenter or carver in your field, and I try my best to be a leader in broadcasting and communication, etc., etc. That's the idea. It doesn't mean that nobody else matters. That's not what it means. But if what it means is that if more of us were to take that position, then we will have not just better followers, but better leaders, because it means we have a lot of followers who are themselves leaders. And because these followers are themselves leaders, it means we are likely to get better leaders, to have better leaders, because these followers are themselves leaders and know that accountability is a key part of leadership and will hold accountable those who are asked or elected to serve.
All leaders were themselves followers. And if everyone strived to be a leader, there would be none to follow or for them to lead.
That's rather pedestrian, Raskaba.
Well, that's where I am. I drive it, I inspire, I never renew it.
No, we have to raise the standards. We have to raise the bar. And you're the same one who will come here and criticize who not doing what from who not, etc., etc. And part of it is that we box ourselves in, Raskaba. So some people would say, well, me just follow ya, me just follow, and that is okay. No, that is not okay. We have to do more than just follow, because if the leader loses his mind, God forbid, and is heading over a cliff, what are the followers going to do? One moment, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Join OneSpotMedia.com for 5 exhilarating days of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships live on OneSpotMedia.com pay-per-view from May 11 to May 15, 2021. Purchase your early bird season pass by April 26 for only US $25.99. The early bird season pass by May 3 for US $27.99, or the regular season pass for US $34.99. Simply log in to OneSpotMedia.com, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. You may also download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go, so don't miss out on Jamaica's most anticipated sporting event. Purchase your pay-per-view ticket today.
Bay Frequency goes old school this Saturday, May 1, 9 p.m. to midnight. Drop some legs to old school bangers spun by Captain Colin Hines, Donovan Dakers, and DJ Narity. And party with Nisha Yen in our Zoom VIP area and across our social media platforms. Support the Holy Childhood International Alumni Tablet per Child campaign. Cash app or call 876-465-1881 for more information. It's Bay Frequency old school live on RETV, Bay 95, Radio Jamaica 94, and One Spot Media, powered by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
I want a man come and ride me ready. That a good education will never be had. The children hear me that a good.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:02. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:02. 现在几点了？4点02分. 2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Yes, Raskaba, you're saying, what would the followers, if the leader's heading off a cliff, what would the followers do?
I was a follower. Me that say, yeah, give thanks God that I wasn't the leader. Father, me gone over a cliff. Me that tap and turn back quick. Me not go over there with him because he already.
Which would make you more than just another follower. That's the idea.
But a wise one.
But that's the idea. That means innate in you would be the qualities of a leader in terms of being able to make a wise decision.
You see, we all were encouraged to be followers, you know. The Bible teaches us or encourages us to follow in Christ's footsteps, not to lead, go ahead and be leaders. No, but the point I'm making, you know, that when a leader and the follower depend on each other to measure the other one. See, like how you need bad to measure good. You know, but some of our leaders should also to be led. You can take that. You alluded to that, not in so many words, but you did touch on that point. And a good teacher is one who are willing to be taught by the students also. Because the student have experiences that is their truth that the teacher would not have. So a teacher that is the best teacher would sit down and listen to a student and learn that she can more equip with new information to even teach another child. So it's not too much of a bad idea to
stay and watch what happen up ahead before you just follow blindly into what the leader might encounter. The other part now, to be a leader, you can decide where your journey goes rather than have to follow someone else wherever they decide to go. So that's why I said one is no more important than the other.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Go on.
No, I still maintain we need more leaders, and the more leaders we have, the better our concentration of followers, because everybody can't lead in terms of being the ultimate one, the ultimate decision maker in an organization, in a church, in a school, in a party, etc., etc. But at least we would have created so many leaders that the followership is the richer for it, and the leadership is also the richer for it.
I would not have stated it that way. You know. I would have said we need more good with energy added and wise leaders, because you have some stupid people who are leading our brothers and sisters astray.
It's not always that people are stupid. It's invariably a function of their actions. We all have the capacity to do stupid things from time to time for whatever reason. It doesn't necessarily mean that the person is innately stupid.
There are some who stupidly do stupid things. But, you know, critique again. I'll just say I criticize. But I am a one who loves criticism. I would prefer not the destructive criticism, but the criticism that will teach me and help me to be a better person in what I do.
Well, there is a quotation we like to share on this program. Fear of criticism is the kiss of death in the courtship of achievement. Fear of criticism is the kiss of death in the courtship of achievement. So by all means, let's listen to what people have to say, whatever the criticism is. And then as an individual, we now have to internalize that which has been exposed to us or shared with us.
Yes, and to see how much you can learn and develop to be a better person. But the fear again, the only thing that one need to fear is fear itself.
Well, fear is false. They say fear is false evidence appearing real.
Right. So there are so many quotations that people create, and there are always the other side of it that make it even sound like important again. However,
no, it's such is the nature of the learning experience. We learn things and we put them in our own words or phrase them a certain way, and then others because nothing is new on under the face of the sun, as they say. I am inspired by others. You are inspired by others. You read something, you like it, and then you cultivate an expression out of that, or a term out of that, or a turn of phrase out of that.
Was there anything new, or is there anything new under the moon?
Neither the sun nor the moon.
Quotation again, where it's questionable. But thanks again for life, but I prefer to hear when you laugh than when you energize your response.
No problem. Thank you. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-Jamaica. And when you have a rich pool of of leaders, what it does as well, it bodes well for continuity, not necessarily to the point of sort of mirroring in exact terms what the person before you would have done, but again you'd be assured of the quality, because remember the qualities that really count. Integrity, number one. Integrity. Well, I don't want to list them in order of priority, but integrity, because integrity is doing the right thing even when you think no one is looking. Integrity is doing the right thing even when you think no one is looking, right? And so that's the general point we were making earlier on. All of us would be better for it and richer for it, for having more leaders, because then it means, well, I think we've dealt with that sufficiently. So let's move on as we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. A couple of messages have come in since the last time we checked. Let's see what those looking on and listening are saying. Angela is still on. Sophia Davis Fagan says, exactly, be a leader in whatever you do. That's the idea. Audrey Smith in Southampton in England says, enjoying this program. Happy to hear that, Audrey Smith. Carol Boyth in Calgary, Alberta, Canada says, hello from beautiful sunny Calgary, Dervan, and fellow listeners. Happy Thursday to all. To you too, Carol. She says, everyone should strive to be a leader. Hashtag period. Yes. Thank you, Carol. Sophia Davis Fagan says, you're right, Dervan. Thank you, Sophia. She says, he's missing it a bit. Everybody will go over the cliff with a leader if those followers are not able to lead as well. Thank you, Sophia, for sharing. Well, how do you pronounce your name? Do you say Sophia or Sophia? Well, we know how that name is pronounced in Jamaica, right? Sophia. So it is. Let's continue. Some more messages. Let's go to, where do we start? This one, Crocs in Black River says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. Please allow me to give my take on what took place in Parliament yesterday. It seems obvious that the JLP has told Mr. Wright to lay low, keep out of sight, kick back in his couch while being fully compensated, and wait for things to be forgotten with the passing of the 2 months. We guarantee you, Crocs in Black River. What's the name of that man who is on social media? What does he say? That will never happen, or words to that effect. No, we would be, yeah, trust me on that one, Crocs in Black River. Whether we want to accept it or not, or believe it or not, our society, our young democracy is at a place where, well, let's just, I would have to see that to believe it, Crocs in Black River. And you can make a note of the date and time that I said this. For real, I would have to see that, experience that to believe it. But this young democracy of ours, we're not perfect, but we're going places in terms of how we have been responding to certain matters of state. Anyway, Crocs goes on, at the end of that time, he can make a triumphant return to Parliament. What the man on social media said, that will never happen. To raucous and rapturous applause and acclaim from his JLP colleagues. Again, Crocs, in Black River, your cynicism is understandable because, yeah, it's understandable based on what has gone on before and what has been happening. But Crocs, make a note of the date and the time. 14 minutes past 4 o'clock right now. And today is the 29th of April, 2021. We will see, Crocs. Make a note. Anyway, Crocs goes on to say, Dervan, why does Power 106 keep sounding like a 78 RPM record being played at 45 RPM? It's very annoying. I explained that earlier on, Crocs. Maybe you missed the explanation. I'll share it with you after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm to join in a series of discussions on building a strong relationship with your child. We invite children to call in and voice their concerns. This broadcast is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, Every Child Deserves Protection, Margins Pharmacy, and Community Meds Pharmacy. That's a live broadcast of Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday, right here on Power 106 FM.
Just take my advice.
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:16. 现在几点了？4点16分。16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait. Yes, young people. Yes, homework is still in. You know what we always say? Whatever the situation, homework is always in. Because homework is about preparation. And proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people, and we also trust that you had not just a productive day of learning today, but also that you found the time or made the time to engage in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. Homework time, young people. Right, Crocs, hope you're listening this time because we did explain it earlier on. And the question was, Dervan, why does Power 106 keep sounding like a 78 RPM record being played at 45 RPM? It's very annoying. Right. So here we go again, Crocs, because we did explain earlier on. Because we are the gatekeepers, we are the guardians within this space whenever we are on. Anybody, whenever any announcer or talk show host is on, anybody at all, presenter, whoever, we, especially those of us who host these talk shows, we have to, in concert with the program assistant, be monitoring what is happening. Because here's the thing, Crocs. When let's say you call us and you are talking, we hear everything. We're the first to hear whatever you say. And if whatever you say is not what we call airworthy, then there is a button that we can press or a switch that we can flick to ensure that whatever we heard you saying, what we here in studio heard you saying, does not go out for our listeners to hear, which is why we have a delay system. It's a delay system. So it delays the time that it takes by some seconds, a few seconds, for the people listening to the radio to hear. Now, personally, I don't like this delay system that we have here. I don't know if it's the same one that we used to have before. I don't know if it's something is new. There's something new because when we used to use the delay system before before coming to 32 Lyndhurst Road. That is not what used to happen when we had to drop a call, so to speak, meaning when we had to prevent something bad from going out on air. You wouldn't have that warbled sound at the end of it. So personally, I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it. I don't know what is different or what has changed or what the situation is now, but whatever it is, I would much prefer if it goes back to what it was before. But I'm not the decision maker in that regard. But personally, I don't like it. I find it annoying as well, Crocs in Black River. I find it annoying. Yeah, if it happens even when the news is being simulcast, that's another thing. Here's what, apart from somebody saying something wrong and us preventing it from going out on air, there is also the situation where, let's say, we played a commercial. So we played a Crocs commercial, for argument's sake. And then the system gives us the same Crocs commercial to play again. So we would hit the button so that the listeners don't hear the Crocs commercial running twice. With respect to the newscast, because it's a simulcast, because we take the news essentially from RJR News, because we're part of the RJR Gleaner Communications group. There are times when we don't take all of it, or we're not, based on the time, because we have programming. We have to monitor our programming here at Power 106 as well. So it has to be cut at a particular time. Now, if we want to tidy that up, if we don't want it to be too untidy, then we can hit the button there as well. So that's another. Yeah. So that's it's the same general principle. You're trying to have a smooth, a seamless transition, but having said that, the warbled sound whenever that button is pressed, one would say defeats the purpose in a sense, because it is no longer a smooth broadcast anyway, because you're hearing that kind of warbled sound. Yeah. So over to the technical team. But I don't like it either, Crocs. When I'm listening to the radio and hear it, it's a turn off for me. And I get turned off easily, actually. In fact, I have a limited attention span. And then, so I've surprised myself being here at Power 106 FM for almost 28 years now. But anyway, it must be the love. It must be the love and not the likes. It must be the love and not the likes. This one says, you make sound as if it is normal when your station go into slow motion. It's obvious something is wrong. Call the contractor. All right, somebody's trying to be funny here. All right, we get it. Thank you very much for your message. And let's go to Patriotic Jamaican in New York is back. He says, Mr. Malcolm, to the listener who asked, how could I be a patriotic Jamaican and live in New York? I don't think patriotism has anything to do with where you live. Patriotism is a state of mind. And even if you are exiled in another country, you can still love your homeland and want and do the best you can for its development and progress. Yes, I currently live in New York, but my heart is in Jamaica, along with my assets and properties there, financed by my residency in New York. No matter how long I live abroad, Jamaica will always be my home, if only in my mind. Thank you very much, Patriotic Jamaican, for your message on WhatsApp. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. How is things, sir? Everything is everything, Cuban in Georgia. Thank you very much for your message. Errol in Spanish Town says, hi, Dervan. It's same thing in driving. I think each car is supposed to be a car length behind each other. Yeah, in fact, the gentleman who taught me to drive said I should always, as best as possible, ensure that I'm seeing the rear wheels of the car in front of me. I think that's what I remember. Always make sure you're seeing the rear wheels of the car in front of you, and that should give you a pretty good idea of the relative distance that you are keeping. Right. And but how we drive in Jamaica, there's no space for you making an error. You just brake, you just step on the brake, and I bet someone will run straight in the back of your car. Well, that happened with the very first vehicle, I had. And can you imagine the first week of having this vehicle? Yes, it wasn't a new car, a used vehicle, which is fine. And same thing happens. The light changes, and the motorist behind you anticipates your movement. The motorist expects you to move right away, as opposed to just, even though you get the green light, you want to make sure that there's nobody breaking the red light somewhere else. And he rear-ended the vehicle I was driving. And yeah, he was blaming me. So the policeman said to him, "Sir, you're running at a man back, you know." You realize that it's you running the man back. So anyway, yeah, so that was that. But how did we get there? Sorry. Yeah, not keeping the proper spacing between vehicles. One of the reasons why that is not strictly observed on Jamaican roads as well is because we have unruly motorists who are always looking for an opening. Always looking for an opening. And there are those of us who refuse to provide them with that opening, right? And so that is one of the reasons for that. But anyway, the message goes on. This is from Errol in Spanish Town. I don't know how we love each up on each other, so seems like space in Jamaica is very scarce. LOL. And then he sends another message behind that one to say, boy, crocodile imagination start run wild again. LOL. Well, we know Errol and Crocs. They usually respond to each other's messages one way or another. Thank you very much, Errol in Spanish Town, for your message on WhatsApp. And let's go now to, let's see who else is messaging us. Oh, goodness. Here, Wayne is going to start one of those things again. So Wayne is looking now to respond to Patriotic Jamaicans' response to his response. And where will that end? We'll see. Wayne is typing, says the system here on WhatsApp. Another message. This is a text message. Good day, Dervan. I am an educated. I think I read. No, man, I read that already. Or maybe you didn't hear it read and resent it. I don't think so. Tony in Spanish Town says, where's Tony? Today's the 29th, right? Yes. Tony says, people shouldn't be forced people shouldn't be forced back in corner to put a foreign object in their own body by any government person or organization if that person has chosen not to be vaccinated. So where in the world is anybody being forced? Where in the world are people running down, are health officials running down people to juke them with the needle, so to speak, in Jamaican parlance? That is not happening, Tony in Spanish Town. If you don't want to take the vaccine, you're perfectly okay not taking the vaccine. But just be prepared for everything that comes with that, with not taking the vaccine. There is nobody who can force you to take the vaccine. And you can always, no doubt, depending on what precedence is set, there are likely to be people who, one moment, please.
That are good education will never be.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. 2021 high school graduates across Jamaica. Be a part of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information's groundbreaking sixth-form pathway program at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean UCC and benefit from free tuition for 2 years for most programs. Through this sixth-form program, high school graduates can transition to grade 12 to earn an associate's degree or other vocational certifications after grade 13. Then, if you wish, seamlessly complete your UCC bachelor's degree in just 2 more years. Visit ucc.edu.jm for details or call us at 876-906-3000. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
Class is in session on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM. Join Hits 92 FM from Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Power 106 FM on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Radiocation. Fun, interactive, educational content for students from the early childhood to secondary level. We take you to school on a wide range of subjects, including language arts, literacy, mathematics, civics, religious education, and others, all from the comfort of your home. Radiocation on Hits 92 FM and Power 106 FM is brought to you in partnership with the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information.
You will find out.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在地点了5:12:29. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Yes, Tony in Spanish Town, nobody is forcing anybody or backing up anybody in any corner to put what you call a foreign object in your own body by any government person. No, that's not being done here in Jamaica or anywhere else in the world that we are aware of. As far as we are aware, that is not being done. In fact, that would actually be counterproductive. You are likely to chase away people by taking that approach, as opposed to winning them over to seeing the value or the benefits of taking a vaccine. There is also the idea of, because of the nature of the virus, the thinking is, and if we are to go by the principle that people are free to do whatever they want to do, so long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom, then in the situation, there are those who might very well be able to argue in a court of law or elsewhere that because of the nature of this virus, I could very well be vaccinated, and for whatever reason, maybe those around me, those around me are not vaccinated. That still has implications for me. Or better yet, I'm not vaccinated. I maybe because my number hasn't called yet, so to speak, hasn't been called yet, and I'm waiting to be vaccinated. Your number has been called, and you are insisting on not getting a vaccine, on getting vaccinated. Then you are likely to pose a danger to me. There are so many examples. Here's another one. Here's another one. So let's say we all have family, right? One way or another, we have family. There is family. But somebody in the household decides that I am not going to be vaccinated. That has implications for everybody else in the household. We know, yes, so getting the vaccine is not an instant fix. It's not necessarily an instant fix, right? But so that there's always a period of vulnerability. There's always a period of vulnerability. So in that period of vulnerability, anything is possible. And then having said all of that, I'm just throwing out little, I mean, some of them you get, some of them, well, neither here nor there. But there's the other scenario where the truth is, some of us are going to, whether or some of us who do not get vaccinated, who make the conscious decision not to get vaccinated, will some of us will catch COVID-19 and will survive. There are others of us who make the conscious decision not to get vaccinated, who will catch COVID-19 and die. So the decision, therefore, is whether you want to wait to find out if you are going to live or die by COVID, or you want to take steps preparatory, to borrow the term used, legal term, or you want to take steps to minimize the impact if and when COVID-19 hits. So that's the choice, really. So if you choose, if we choose not to be vaccinated, then again, as we said, it is a fact that a lot of us will contract COVID-19 and survive. A lot of us have survived. A lot of us who have had COVID-19 have survived. But a lot of us, in the case of Jamaica, 770, I think that's a figure, right? That's the last number. 770 people, at least, last time we checked, about 770 people did not survive COVID-19. 770 people did not survive COVID-19. So it's a case for those of us who decide not to take the vaccine, and we're free to choose. For those of us who choose not to take the vaccine, then it's at some point, we're going to find out, if we live long enough, we're going to find out whether we contract it and live, whether we get COVID-19 and live, or get COVID-19 and die. For those of us who don't want to find out, for others of us who don't want to find out, we take precautionary steps, such as all the current protocols of mask wearing, hand washing, sanitizing, and physical distancing. And then, if and when the vaccine becomes available, and we're next in line, then we can decide whether or not we're going to do it. So those are the options, really. I don't know if all of that made sense. You tell me, but essentially that's what we're looking at. We know for a fact that people will live and people will die. So people will catch COVID-19 and survive and live and get on with their lives, and people have been surviving. A lot of people all over the world, millions. But sadly, a lot of people have died. So for example, when we look at the numbers, let's give you a quick look at the numbers to put it in perspective. Let's see. So worldwide, we're looking at 100. So 100 and this is according to the official statistics, according to the data gathered. Naturally, according to the data gathered, 151,025,351 people have contracted COVID-19. Right? I want to see the recovery numbers as well. Hold on, let's see here. We're just trying to make a point, but essentially 151,025,351 people have contracted COVID-19. Of that number, 3,176,405 have died. 3,100,000, and these are the global numbers. So look at this now. We also have recoveries. 128,363,105 people have recovered from COVID-19. So these are the global numbers. 128, which are always being updated. 128,363,105 people have recovered. So for those of us who choose not to protect ourselves, we are pretty much living to see which of these categories we'll end up in. Will we be fortunate or blessed enough to fall in the category of recoveries, 128,363,105 and counting? Or will we end up in the category of the 3,176,500 people who have died? So there's the choice. There's the choice. So if we want to live to die, so to speak, meaning living to see. All right, well, I'll wait and see, because, all right, if I catch it, yes, you don't necessarily, it's not a given that you're going to die if you catch COVID-19, which is why we all are supposed to protect ourselves, and the vaccine is supposed to be added protection. But again, up to this point, it remains people are free to choose. Apparently, choose to take the vaccine or not take the vaccine, even if our choice has implications for everybody else in the society or in the world in general. So let's see how far this will take us, for those of us who live long enough to see how it will all unfold. But it is what it is. How did that get started? That message from Tony. But as of now, Tony, nobody is being forced to take the vaccine. Tony is asking, what's in these vaccines? Well, that's the kind of information that you can Google, Tony. And Google, by the way, when we talk about Google in this instance, Google is also mindful of the misinformation that is out there. And so when you Google certain info, Google will ensure. As I said, I had the privilege of going to Google some years ago in Cupertino, California, to see the workings. But they're very good at what they do. Clearly, one moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Tune into Farm Talk 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
For learning, before you grow old. Learning is better.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:14. Hiện tại, Ti Dien Le Wu Dien Cha Shi Si Fen. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Right, so Tony in Spanish Town has asked the question, what's in these vaccines? Well, let's look at the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine, made up of acids, citric and monohydrate, salts, trisodium citrate, dehydrate, sugars, 2-hydroxypropyl, and there's a symbol here, dash cyclodextrin, HBCD for short, HBCD for short. And there is polysorbate 80, sodium and sodium chloride, other ingredients, ethanol. And so that's the Johnson & Johnson. In terms of the Pfizer vaccine, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration says in Pfizer's vaccine, the active ingredient, nucleoside modified messenger RNA, in brackets, mRNA, encoding the viral spike glycoprotein, in bracket, S, of SARS-CoV-2. So the active ingredient is this is the Pfizer vaccine, nucleoside modified messenger RNA, in bracket, common MOD, capital RNA, encoding the viral spike glycoprotein of SARS-CoV-2. And then there are the lipids, 4-hydroxybutyl azenidyl bis hexane 6. You see, one would need one of the experts to explain in simple terms what these things are. They know what they are. So there are lipids. Let's tell you what those are for starters. Those of us who remember doing biology or lipid, yeah. Any other class of organic compounds that are fatty acids or their derivatives and are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. Some examples of lipids, they include many natural oils, waxes, and steroids. So those are the lipids. And then there are the salts like potassium chloride, monobasic potassium phosphate, sodium chloride, basic sodium phosphate dihydrate. And then there is sucrose. Now, you heard us earlier on making reference to mRNA. The Pfizer's vaccine is the first on the market that consists of actual genetic information from a virus in the form of messenger RNA or mRNA, a type of molecule whose usual job is to transport copies of genetic instructions around a cell to guide the assembly of proteins. Imagine an mRNA as a long ticker tape carrying instructions. It's fairly delicate stuff, and that's why Pfizer's vaccine needs to be kept at around minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 73 degrees Celsius until it's used. And right. So we don't want to go too much into it because, as we said, rightfully so, we would want the experts who also speak our language to break it down. But the point I'm making by sharing the information, Tony, the essential point was that of sharing the information. That the information is available. Nobody's hiding anything. The information is available. And perhaps it's for more of us who are able to, who occupy certain positions, who have the professional backing to break it down as simply as possible for the rest of us. So that's part of it. But the information is available, Tony, in Spanish Town. That's the point we're making just now. Let's see, who is this now on the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, good afternoon. You hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, it's good to hear your biology class. And I think you should add some maths class to it because biology and maths go together, especially when you're doing nursing. So I think you should add that to it. But my question to you is, can someone die after taking the first shot of COVID-19? They have no underlying symptoms, but because they don't get the second shot in no time, between 8 to 12 weeks or something like that, can they die after? I know you're not an expert, but do you think we should get an expert to answer that question? Your comment on it?
Well, the information that is in the public domain that the officials put out, they put out what is called the efficacy of a vaccine, the ability of the vaccine to do what it is supposed to do. So for the double dose, for example, AstraZeneca, just very recently I heard the chief medical officer reminding us that the first dose has an efficacy rate of 75%. The first dose is so there's a 75%. Well, I don't want to go further than that, but that's what she said, 75%. And then she says now by the time you get the second dose, that goes up as high as 95%.
So you see what I'm talking about when I spoke to you about the first shot, the one shot thing. If a person had gotten the one shot, it would have lessened their chances of dying. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Well, that's the benefit of the vaccine. It's to minimize the impact of the virus on your system in such a way that it just comes and goes, or it is insignificant in its impact on you, or it means that you wouldn't the chances of ending up in the hospital are far less, etc.
Yeah, I see where you're going on that one. But you see, I think we should have given the people the options of taking there are three options, and they should have given the people the option.
More than three. There are a lot of vaccines out there, just that not all of them are approved.
But we should have gotten the option, because there are three main options that I know of. But in those choosing that one, that you have to hurry up and go and get another one, and there are shipment concerns.
I don't know about hurrying up to get it though, because I've heard that question asked before, and it's not a matter. It's just a window that they have identified with information that they have collected so far. It's not an exact science, so to speak.
But I think they should look at the fact that how can we close down the gap? How can we close the window in terms of having the first dose quickly and then after getting the second dose very quickly?
But there's no threat right now, as I understand it. We just got 50,000 doses of, I believe, the same AstraZeneca, and those who got the first shot are in line to get the second, and are being encouraged to get the second, and it's all within the range, the time span, and there's another shipment on the way as well that is coming in. I don't remember the timeline, but relatively
sometime
soon.
in May.
Yeah. So there's not an issue. As bad as things are globally, and not least of all in India, there is still quite a significant enough number of vaccines.
Vaccine available.
Yeah.
Well, you see, my friends in France are opening up their system, their lockdown system gradually, and I'm glad to hear that.
They're not alone. I see they're testing a concert. They had a concert. Was it in Spain?
Yes.
And they're going to be doing one. I think England is going to be doing that. Is an Elton John concert or something later this year? Yeah.
So I think people are used to getting used to the vaccine, trying to get their lives in tune, because a lot of people are worried. Because every day you just hear the numbers going up and the numbers going up. When are we gonna, just say bye-bye to this dreaded virus?
Well, we hope sooner rather than later. But we have to do more than hope. We have to play our part. Do what we can right now to minimize the chances of getting the virus, and secondly, where the vaccine is available, that's a clear option.
So what about you personally? You have gotten it yet?
Oh no, not yet. Not yet. I have not fallen, well, in terms of the categories. They haven't gotten to the stage yet where they, like some other countries, from 18 up or something like that. Not that I'm 18, but
You look like 18.
You're very kind.
Okay, then, Dervan, keep good.
Thank you. All the best. Take
Okay.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Can we thank you once again for the privilege? And that is really maybe tomorrow we'll pick up on that point that we're going out with. Thank you. We're out of time, actually. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Be safe. And all the very best.
Little boys, little girls, just take my advice. Go to school.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.
Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines today, Thursday, April 29, 2021. Former senior manager at National Commercial Bank pleads guilty for defrauding the financial institution of $34 million. Homicide detectives searching for suspect who recorded himself executing a man. $300 million of care benefits remain uncollected. Attorney General calls for a job description and code of conduct for members of Parliament. In business news, Kingston Wharves urges the government to revisit laws governing logistics.